Welcome back to the Jarrett Bay Insider. I'm your host, RV Hodge. Behind me is Hull 64, and we're going deep inside a piece of furniture today. I'm in the salon of Hull 64, and the piece of furniture I'm talking about is not just any piece of furniture, it is the largest component that goes inside the boat. It is the dinette. And it's going to take up a lot of space here. And the real question is, how do we get this great big piece of furniture through that door? We're heading over to the loft right now to take a look. So we're on the finished carpenter's loft looking at our dinette. It's a large piece of furniture. It is actually 10 individual components that have to go through that doorway one at a time. These things have been all handmade by Rick Snars, finished carpenter. Rick, how long have you been at Jarrett Bay?
I've been working at Jarrett Bay almost 9 years now.
9 years, man, that goes by fast, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So Rick, when you start a project of this scope and scale, do they give you the comprehensive plans or do they just give you individual component plans?
No, you get a whole set of plans. What you'll do is you'll go through and just check all your dimensions. Usually I'll start with the base because with a project like this, which was 10 components, this is going to be your base. So you want to set everything on top of it, work your way up, and you're veneering the things at the same time.
On this base, we have this large drawer. It's a tackle drawer.
Right.
I know there's some structure under there that has to support all this other stuff. What is that structure in there?
The fabrication shop put a little frame together. It's a metal frame that goes from side to side. The span that you have here is like 6 feet.
Okay.
And what they want to do is heavy it up so that there isn't any flex. Once you get 3-4 people sitting around this dinette plus the pedestal, you can't afford to have flex because you want a nice seal and reveal on your drawer when your drawer is closed also. The glides that we have on these drawers are extremely heavy duty and stretch out.
So it'll never sag on
There
you.
will be no sag. And
Well, that's important, especially in a boat where there's always motion.
correct.
Now, I'm looking at this dinette seat itself,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing this raised notch here. Can you explain what that's all about? That's all the way around that.
Yeah, that's once everything gets installed, we got a couple guys, Adam and Dave will come in and they'll put the floor down and they'll lay individual piece at a time, but the floor will tuck directly up under. So it's nice and finished. You don't need quarter round or anything like that. It'll just be a perfectly square finished floor.
I'm also looking here and I'm seeing these louvers.
Right.
So what's going on behind the scenes here that we have to have louvers under this bench?
When they run AC, they have to have a certain amount of air intake. We used to do a single, but they went to this double look. It really looks nice as opposed to the one big hole like that.
I would like to take a look on the backside and see what's going on back there. So I'm looking at those louvers from the backside now, and I see there's more openings here and drop down openings that come down into this main chamber.
Correct.
So is all of this part of the airflow, the return vent, I guess it would be, to the air conditioner unit?
Yeah, besides the airflow and stuff, what we have here, they boxed it off to hold the seat up itself, but these are also storage compartments.
Oh, okay.
And it would be quite a waste of space if you didn't use it for something, you know.
This has been very interesting, Rick. Thank you for your time. I'm really looking forward to seeing this all done, varnished up, and being all real pretty. Next, we're about to go take a look at the fairing process on Hull 68. I'm at the bow of Hull 68, and one of the places where we mix art and science is the fairing of the boat. It may not sound like much, but it is a huge investment in time, labor, and skill. The fairing compound is laid on this, and then at some point it has to be smoothed out. So today, the paint crew is doing what we call longboarding. It's not surfing, it's sanding. So the painters are sanding with the longboard. The purpose of that is it spreads the fairing over a larger zone. It's almost like a road grader. The longer it is, the smoother the surface. That's exactly what they're doing. They have a little bit of flex to them, and they work in sync. That's where the artistry comes to it. They have learned from experience how much pressure to put on different parts of the boat. It smooths things out, but you still have a hard time telling where the low spots are. And they introduce a product called guide coat. Here we can see a little bit of over here, and that guide coat is really just kind of a black spray paint. It's maybe more of a dye, and they sand across that until they get a large smooth surface. Here we can see they've gone as far down as they can go. They've hit fiberglass. They're hitting right here, just about touching fiberglass. This reveals the low spots, and they'll come back and they'll lay the mud in there real nice and clean, and then later they'll come back and do the sanding again. There will be more guide coat, more putty, and more sanding, 2 or 3, maybe 4 more layers, dressing down the highs, and then filling in and patching up the lows until eventually they're doing little spots. Every square foot of the boat has to be perfectly faired, and there's about 3,000 square feet of the skin of this boat. It's a lot of hard work. These guys spend hours doing this. I wouldn't recommend arm wrestling with these guys. When that is all finished, there will be more primer, and then when that looks just right, they'll shoot it with top coat. The top coat is super hard, super shiny. It will reflect everything, and if there's any flaws, you will see it. There's no hiding it. That's why so much work has to be put into it. As you can see, the painters have a lot of work to do before we roll this boat over, which is coming up very soon. So stay tuned, and we'll catch you next time.